Hey guys, I am back. I'm so sorry for the couple of days that you guys did not get a video. Am I starting this with lipstick in my teeth? Classic. Okay, so lots has happened since I talked to y'all, and I'm gonna kind of go through what happened, what's going on now, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about 2025. And then I'm going to start the daily vlogs, and they're going to keep going after this. So this is like a catch up / let's chat for a little bit about 2025. So, I think the last thing y'all saw was we were getting back from our trip. That was on Thursday. Today is Monday as I'm filming this. Friday, I got up, I took down all of the Christmas. I was vlogging, and that footage got completely erased on accident. So I had a vlog that was going to go up on Friday, or was going to go up on Saturday. What? Wait, no. Yes, so the vlog y'all saw went up on Saturday from Thursday. That makes no sense, but I got a little bit confused. So y'all saw Thursday's vlog on Saturday, okay? I was filming Friday for Sunday. So I'm filming, I'm taking down Christmas. I got all of the Christmas stuff down by myself. David took Nate to his checkup, and then he had to work. And so I didn't want to have to wait for him to come back and help me put stuff up in the garage. And so, stupidly probably, I did everything. Like I took down the tree, I lifted the tree back up onto the shelf, which was probably stupid. I took down everything. Like I just wanted it done. I didn't want to have to wait for him to get home later and do it. And so I was vlogging that, and somehow all that footage got gone. By Friday night, I just started feeling a little bit off. I don't know, like I couldn't nail it down. I just felt kind of tired. And I thought, well, I just did all of this work, and we've been traveling and Christmas and all of this. My body's probably just exhausted. So on Friday night, I still had to edit the video that you guys saw Saturday. And I told David, like, I don't think I can edit. Like, I'm just so tired. I don't want to do anything. And I was about to tell y'all, like, just don't worry about a video for Sunday. You're not going to probably get one, or Saturday. This is so confusing. You're not going to get one. And David's like, I'll edit for you. So the video you guys saw last, the Saturday one, David edited because I was just like, I don't feel like doing it, which is so unlike me. As y'all know that. Saturday morning comes, and I woke up around 6 a.m. and I felt like I had a headache coming on. It didn't really feel terrible. It just kind of was like, oh, I feel like I'm getting a headache. And I hate waking up with that feeling. Y'all know I get really bad migraines. And so the start of a headache always it honestly scares me. And so I immediately took some medicine, like some Excedrin. It didn't feel terrible yet. So I should have just taken a sumatriptan right then. Next time I'm definitely going to do that, because what happened was within an hour, it started getting bad. And I took a sumatriptan as soon as I realized, like, this is a migraine. Took it, and it just went from bad to worse. David had a dentist appointment on Saturday morning, which is weird. I didn't even know our dentist office did Saturday appointments, but he did. He had an appointment. So by the time he got home from that, I was in excruciating pain. My prescription says take one sumatriptan, and then if the migraine's not better in like 2 hours, take another one. So I waited the 2 hours. I took another one, which I hardly ever have to take two. Nothing was working. And so it got to the point where I just was laying in bed. I couldn't sit up. I was literally writhing around. It was awful. And I thought, well, maybe if I take some Benadryl. Sometimes if I take Benadryl, it'll just make me relax enough to kind of go to sleep, and then it'll kind of reset my migraine. I took 2 Benadryls. Nothing happened. Like, I didn't get sleepy. I was just in so much pain. Then I started getting really nauseated. And when I start getting nauseated with a migraine, I get really afraid, because when you start vomiting with a migraine, it increases the pressure so much the pain gets like substantially worse. I was icing, I was putting heat, I was doing everything I could think of. I took a hot bath, like I tried everything. I was trying to drink, but I was so nauseous I couldn't. And it just was from bad to worse. And I kept thinking, like, the medicine's going to kick in and it's going to get better. It just never did. And so in the afternoon, I started throwing up. which of course makes the headache so much worse. I cannot tell you how bad the pain was. Anytime I would sit up, I mean, it hurt no matter what I did, but when I would sit up, the pressure would get so much worse, and it was just unbearable. I really wanted to go to the urgent care, the emergency room. Like, I know if I go, they'll give me a shot and it will get better. But the thought of sitting up, getting in the car, waiting in the waiting room, like I couldn't do it. Like, there was no way. I was throwing up. It was just awful. Thank God it happened on a Saturday. David was here. He was handling the kids. And I was miserable. You know, a lot of times when you're sick, you lay in the bed, rest, watch TV. It's miserable. You're gross, but you can rest through it. You know, you can sleep. You can let your mind be taken off of it by watching a show or just kind of relaxing. When you have a migraine, there is no escaping the pain. And that's why they're so awful. Like, it is all consuming. I tried turning off all the lights and not listening to anything, but then it's like all I could think about was the migraine. So then I tried like listening to stuff, like nothing I did helped. Nothing I did helped me take my mind off of it. And this lasted till about, and every 4 to 6 hours, I was still taking Benadryl because I kept thinking, I'm going to take enough Benadryl that I'm going to go to sleep. Nothing happened. I took Benadryl 4 to 6 hours, like 3 times, like 2 pills, like all that Benadryl, nothing, like nothing was kicking it. I was not sleeping. It was horrible. David kept saying, like, I'll drive you to the hospital. I'm like, yeah, but I cannot sit up to go. Like, I cannot go. It will be so much, like, I can't even tell you how bad the pain was. And so, thankfully, I mean, I had everybody praying. It was awful. I told David, like, there's no way I'm going to be able to put the vlog up. And then we didn't even know the footage had been deleted anyway. So we couldn't have put up anything anyway, because I had no footage. It actually got deleted on Friday. I filmed like 2 days behind. I know this timeline's making no sense to y'all probably, but it doesn't matter. So I put it out saying like no video tomorrow, and I was just praying. I had the heating pad like all over my head because I found that heat did a little bit better than the ice, like just to help the pain. So I had this microwavable face mask thing that I did a lot, but then also I would take the heating pad because I didn't have to keep reheating it. It was just staying constant, and I just laid it on my head. It was awful. Right around the time the kids went to bed, between 8 and 9, it started lightening up. Like, finally, I wasn't able to eat or drink all day because I was so nauseous, which I think didn't help like the symptoms of it, because, you know, a lot of times you need to drink with a migraine. So anyway, it started getting better. David was like, if you are not better by tomorrow, we're canceling church. I will get someone else to do church, and I'm taking you to the hospital. And I was like, deal. Anyway, right around 8 or 9 o'clock at night, I could tell it was starting to get better, like lightly better, which, oh my gosh, I was so thankful for. And by like 10 or 11, I was feeling so much better. I ended up eating a few crackers that late at night. I was sipping on a Diet Coke, and I was keeping that down. So I was able to go to sleep, and I slept until Sunday morning. And I was supposed to do breakfast for Sunday church, you know. I couldn't even talk about breakfast. I couldn't even text anyone to tell them, can you make breakfast? I couldn't say the words breakfast. So we had no plan. Okay. So I wake up and I'm like, I don't know if you've ever had a migraine, but the day after a migraine for me, my body is so sore almost, and just so worn out from the pain of having that extreme pain, that I feel awful the next day. It's almost like you feel hungover. I mean, I've never felt hungover. I've never drank anything, but that's how I imagine that you feel. And so I was like, there's no way I can go to church. And so David did a quick run by Walmart, got some donuts, got some like little quiches to heat up. I'm so thankful that people at church just step in, and our team is wonderful. And they got through it. I kept the kids home. Thankfully, I wasn't in really pain as much as just worn out. I was still able to like lay on the couch, and the kids played and all of this. So we made it through. But when I miss a day of editing and vlogging, you can't just really miss one day. So I knew it was probably going to be missing 2 days of videos, because I missed the day I edited and I missed the day I vlogged. Plus that footage got erased. So I'm sorry, you guys, 2 days without a vlog. I know this is a very long story. I didn't mean for it to be this long. I think what's happening, first of all, I think I was just completely worn out. And sometimes my body like will put me down like this when I'm doing too much. But also, I think that the sumatriptan is just not working anymore. So I'm going to talk to my doctor about trying something else. I need to make an appointment and go in and talk to him because it was horrible. I wouldn't wish it on my worst nightmare. On my worst enemy. I would rather have been in labor on Saturday. I would have taken it, like without an epidural. I would have taken it because at least you get like, during the contractions, you get some reprieve. This is just horrible pain. Migraines are from the pit of hell. I hate them so much. And anyway, I'm feeling so much better today. Thank God. I still feel just a little bit spacey still, just because I feel exhausted. But that was our weekend. And today, as I'm filming this, is David's birthday. So you're looking for the next video after this. I'm vlogging David's birthday. And I have so much to catch up on because the kids are back in school. We have no groceries. Thank God for Walmart delivery, because on Saturday, I was planning on getting up Saturday morning and going to the store and we were out of everything. And I woke up and had this horrible, horrible pain and all that. So David got a delivery delivered, like milk and just like a few things to kind of get us through. So I'm so thankful for that. I mean, just a few years ago, we didn't have stuff like that. So it's an amazing blessing. But anyway, I've got a lot to do today to kind of get ourselves back. I got a lot of YouTube work. I got a lot of housework. I got a lot of shopping to do. And we woke up this morning and Mark's pants are too small. Like, how does that happen overnight? I swear, like my kids are growing like weeds. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about 2025 now that I have gone on and on about that. I really missed you guys. And I'm wondering too, like if it was a viral thing that triggered the migraine and like the nausea was from that, because David yesterday had like chills and felt really, really nauseous. He's okay today, but it was just really weird. And then Lucy this weekend wasn't feeling that great. So I'm wondering if there was something else going on top of everything, because sometimes my migraines will be triggered by that. Or like I've told y'all, if I get really hot, really cold, or sick a lot of times, or hormonal, or we also had bad weather coming through. It could have been any of those things or a combination of things. But 2025, I've already talked about my word of the year. I want to be working on being more content with my life. But there's a couple of like other goals that I want to talk about and document. So let me pull up my goal list. So I'm not going to make a book goals. I'm not going to make a book goal because I don't want to be pressured into reading. I really want to read because I want to. And sometimes with the book goals, I felt like, oh, I'm behind, I've got to catch up and all that. And I ended up reading like 110 books last year. I didn't really need the goal, I don't think. But what I want to work on, and I am going to still keep track of how many I read, but I want to really read for pleasure and read to relax and read books I want to read. So my goal though is to try out new genres, books that I think I'm not going to like, just try them. I've really stepped out of my comfort zone reading some historical fiction, Kristen Hanna books, and they're a little slow go for me. And so normally I'd be like, well, this is too slow. Let's just pass on it. But I've really enjoyed them. And so giving books a chance, like stepping out of my comfort zone, reading, maybe a few different things. I'm still going to read the books I love, the like thriller type books. But I've also enjoyed reading some different types of books. I want to read some nonfiction. I want to read some, inspirational books. I just want to expand my horizon. I want to do more audiobooks and stuff like that. So with the word content, 2 specific things I'm working on. And this is just being very vulnerable with y'all because this is areas in my life that I struggle with, honestly. Working on being critical. This is just my personality. I'm type A. And anytime I see something that isn't perfect, even stuff that I've done, I'm very critical of it. I want to point out the negative parts of it. And I don't think that's always a bad thing, but going through life, I want to have, the second point, a more positive outlook. I want to think about the positive things and not always go straight to the negatives. I have a really bad habit of doing that. And it's something I need to be more mindful of in the new year as like just working on And if I think the critical thoughts, not saying them. Because a lot of times I'll just spew something out and I'm like, I probably shouldn't have said that. And specifically to my husband, because he's like a dreamer. Like he has all these grand, big ideas. And I think I ground him in a lot of ways, because I will tell him like, well, have you thought about this part of that? Like, what are we going to do about this? If you're going to do that, then what about this part? And I think he does need that. But sometimes I feel like I'm shooting down his dreams before he even, has a chance to accomplish them, if that makes sense. And I want to be like his best cheerleader. I want to be the one that's like, you can do it, and even in my own self, like I'll do that to myself. Like, well, that's not possible, like that's not gonna, So, the other thing that God has really challenged me, and I felt it so strong, is when scary opportunities, arise and I'm asked to do something that normally I would be really fearful of, and I would really have a lot of self-doubt about. Say yes. God has said to me, say yes to things you normally would say no to, and I will be with you. I will help you through them. And I really want to work on that, because immediately I have a lot of self-doubt. I feel like, well, I can't do that. And God is challenging me to say yes more, to say yes to more like assignments, and to say yes to more of what he wants me to do. And, this whole kind of thing started with me like wrestling with it, was when I was asked to do that news interview. That was really outside my comfort zone, really, really. However, I'm so glad that I did it. I mean, I'm so proud of myself for doing it, and it was really fun. So I want to say yes more often. I really do. That's a scary one for me, because I'm like, well, what if something really scary comes up and I have to say yes to it because I've said, okay, God, I'll do it. But I know that whatever God brings into my life, and I feel like it's something that he wants me to say yes to, he will go with me, and he will give me the words to say, and he will give me courage to do. Okay, the rest of the stuff is kind of not super spiritual, but I want to work on finishing my healthy lifestyle. I've done really good, just to be honest with y'all. I've done really good over the last year of my healthy lifestyle. I've lost 50 pounds. I've kept it off. Here I say 50 and not 60, like I was saying, because I have gained just a little bit of weight over the holidays. And actually, I don't even think it's quite 10 pounds, but I've put on a little bit of weight since my lowest weight. My lowest weight was probably sometime in this summer. And then we had our cruise, and I just felt like I kind of got off the bandwagon. I didn't go off the bandwagon. I just kind of, was a little more loosey-goosey with stuff. I've been really super stressed and busy, and I've just not been super focused, honestly, about my weight loss. And I want to not lose weight just so I can see the scale go down. I just want to be healthy. Like, I don't even care about the pounds. Like, I just want to put healthy food in my body. I want to be hydrated. I want to be active. I want to get walks done again. And to me, like, the walks sometimes are daunting, because I'll do, like, I have to get to 10,000 steps or whatever. Well, if I don't feel like doing 10,000, then I just won't do any. And like, really prioritizing, if I can take a 10-minute walk, that's still something. And I still think I will benefit mentally and physically from that. So I'm going to be keeping track of how many walks I do this year, and just try to get a lot of walks in. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to go walk for an hour, which sometimes I feel pressure when I wear my Fitbit. Like, I have to get to this certain number. And then if I don't get to that number, like, I feel like I've failed somehow. So I want to work on that. Of course, I'm continuing on with the Bible recap. This is my 3rd year. I'm going to show you guys in the vlog for today, but I have bought a new Bible, and it's more of like a study Bible. And you'll see what I mean when I show it to you. It's not one to like carry around really. But it's one to have at home. And so I'm reading, because this is my 3rd year on the Bible recap, I want to do something to make it fresh. And I think what I'm going to do is read it in a different translation. I normally read it in NLT. That's my favorite translation of the Bible. I just think it's really easy to understand and all this. But because I've read through the Bible twice now with NLT, I want to do a little twist and maybe read in a different translation, because I do think other translations have, nuances. And so I'm reading in the WEB translation, World English Bible, I think is what it is. And it's a more modern translation. I think they said it was completed in like 1994. It's supposed to be like very true to the original words. Like even when they say God, or there's certain circumstances when the translation is Yahweh, they say Yahweh and not God. I think like I was reading about it, like when the Bible says Lord in capitals, Lord in capitals, then that's their word for Yahweh. And then Lord with just the L capital is God. And then, which obviously is the same thing, but the Hebrew language puts a lot of emphasis on Yahweh. They revered God so much that they wouldn't even write his name really, and or even say all of it sometimes. And so like that's just an example of kind of how this translation, like they're very true. And I just think it'll be interesting to read it in a different way. So that's my plan for the Bible recap. My goal financially this year is to be able to give more. I want to look for opportunities to bless others, and I want to not spend as much on ourselves as we do like blessing others. And I always get so excited when we tithe every month because I love to see like, oh, we get to tithe more. Like we earned a little bit extra, so we get to tithe more this month. And I want to be able to give even more than our tithe. I really want to focus on giving more. I love to be able to give to God because he just has blessed us so much. And the more I give to him, I know not everybody tithes. I've tithed my whole life. There's never been a paycheck we've earned that we haven't tithed on. And I know it doesn't make physical, logical sense sometimes when you're struggling with money to give 10% of your money back to God. But I will tell you, God's math doesn't make sense sometimes. And he has blessed us so much more than we could ever give to him. And there has been so many seasons of our life where financially, I don't know how we've made it. Like our expenses have been more than our income, and somehow it still works out. And God is just taking care of us and he's blessed us. And so my goal financially is to save and to give. So the only other thing is I really want to get my house organized. I say this every single year, and I feel like I start really strong and then it kind of putters out. And so there's several areas in our house that are kind of getting out of control. Mark's closet has become like the throw everything in there because it's really big. So we use it kind of as storage / his closet. And I just hate it. I hate how it's looking. So that's like one of the first things I want to do. Our closet after Christmas, like a lot of boxes and a lot of stuff from Christmas got put in there, and we need to go through our clothes. Like me and David have already said one of his days off, we're going to like set aside to go through stuff because we have so much clothes in our closet that we don't wear. And, it just feels so cluttered. So there's certain areas like drawers and different things. Like our dresser is awful. Like you can barely even shut it. So that's kind of a goal. And then the only other thing, I'm going to be going through this little section on my Sunday chats. Be looking for this Sunday chat video. On New Year's Eve, I saw, and I've talked about this several times in the vlog, I saw this post by Holly Furtick, and she just said like, great, here's something for the new year, or it wasn't even a big thing. Like she didn't make a big deal about it, but she posted this thing that said, the most joyful people I know. And then it was like some attributes or some characters of them. And I just felt like every single one of these applied to me, is something that I need to do better. And so we're going to take each one of these things and we're going to talk about it on a Sunday chat. I think this is something we can all work on. So first of all, forgive quickly. There is hurts that I've been carrying around for years, and I didn't even realize that I was, and until like I'll think about it and it still hurts. So I'm like, oh, I still have unforgiveness about that. So forgive quickly, because if you don't forgive quickly, it grows. I know this from experience. Number 2, celebrate each other's wins. I do a good job at this if it's people that I really love, but what about it's people who've treated you bad, or it's people who you feel threatened by, or it's people that, whatever, fill in the blank. Sometimes it's really hard. You feel jealous. You feel like, well, why are they getting that? I don't have that. I want to be someone that celebrates other people's wins and isn't selfish or thinking, well, why do they have that and I don't have that? Number 3, know your purpose. I struggle with this for so many years. I still struggle with this. And a lot of times we don't know our purpose because we're comparing ourselves to every single other person. So finding out what your purpose is, what God's called you to do, and not comparing yourself to others, that is so powerful. And if you do know your purpose, you will be a joyful person. What number are we on? Fourth one? Fourth. Consistently point out the good. This goes back to that first part I was talking about, not being critical, looking for the good to point out, not the negative. Number 5, live in the moment. I will tell you, I have a hard time doing this, and I think it comes from vlogging and always like trying to capture everything because I'm thinking about the future and I want to just live in the moment more. I want to be present more. And if that means getting less footage, if that means whatever it means, I want to live in the moment because time is going by so quickly and I'm constantly worried about the future, worried about this, what about that, thinking about the past and who's hurt us and we all do this. And so I want to focus on living in the moment. And then the last thing is be generous with compliments. I want to every single day find someone to compliment, whether that's just somebody in the store, sending a text to a friend and just saying, I love you so much. Thank you for being this in my life. It could be saying, I love your dress to someone, because I'm telling you, there is such power in complimenting people. It will make people's day and it'll make you a better person because you'll be looking at trying to point out the good in others. You will be actively looking for that. And so I'm excited about that one. So we're going to be taking each one of these and talking more in detail about them. So stay tuned for that. I am really excited for this year. Honestly, I have one more goal, and that is to take more time off. I have a very busy schedule with the vlogs, and I'm still planning on keeping things mostly the same. But I went so long with never missing a day of filming, never missing a day of editing, because I constantly had stuff I was working on and wanting to post for you guys. And I still want to do that most of the time. But also, I want to be able to take days off, working so hard over Christmas is very difficult. And I may reevaluate how I do Vlogmas, how I film and stuff, because I really want to be present with my kids. I really want to have time where I'm not constantly editing. So I want to be able to, if I'm sick, just tell you guys, I'm sorry, there's going to be no vlog. And I think I'll have better quality because I will be more not stressed out and crazy, because I do post a lot of videos and that schedule is very hard to keep up. So no really big changes, but there may be days here and there where I just have to tell you guys no video today because of this. And I think that'll be fine. I know you guys don't care. Y'all have all told me like yourself first and all that, but I put like unrealistic pressure on myself. And then I get really stressed out and I want to be a more present mother. And so I've really taken a lot of time this year I just spit on y'all. I've really taken a lot of time this year to really think about how I want my life to be. We're getting at the age now where we're not just little kids anymore. Like, who do I want to be as a grown woman? Who do I want to be? And when others look at me, how do I want them to see me? I just want to be everything God's called me to be. And sometimes that also feels like pressure, but it doesn't come from God. It comes from everything I've put on myself to do all the things, to be all and I don't ask for help because I want to be the one to do everything. And I really feel like the time has come to not do all that, to ask for help more, to take days off, to, live in the moment and to, I just think it's going to be a happier, healthier me all the way around this year. So that is the plan anyway. All right. I've been talking to y'all for a long, long time now. So I'm going to go. I'm going to start tomorrow's vlog for y'all. I love you all so much. Let me know some of your goals down below. And hey, if you don't have any, you can steal some for me. It's okay. I think like having goals I don't even like to call them resolutions because we all have the resolution of like, I'm going to lose weight. Well, how are you going to do that? Like, what's your mindset? Because you just go into it saying, I'm going to lose weight. A lot of that like goes away after like a couple of weeks, you know, and you don't have that motivation anymore. So I like to come up with things that are very specific and things that, you know, I just pull a notes tab up on my phone and I just write out some things and then I can go back and look over it. And anyway, I hope this helps someone. If not, thank you all for listening so much. I love you. The best is yet to come. We're going to have a great 2025. I'm calling it. All of us, you guys included, we're going to have a great 2025. And let's just go forward believing that. And there's power in that. And there's power in our words and what we choose to focus on. So I love you guys so much. If you've watched till this end, oh man, God bless you. Leave me, I need to come up with something really weird. Okay, leave me a hot dog emoji because you're never going to guess that. Leave me a hot dog emoji. It has nothing to do with this video, but I will know that you made it to the end. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Definitely subscribe if you're new. I'll see y'all tomorrow.